Hey guys, Ajax22 here, and pardon the mess, but we've been doing a lot of work. As you can see, slat walls all up. The layout for the desk is still working on it. Haven't quite figured it all out. Lathe is wired up. Currently working on getting the power to the mill head. It's going to require a new cord and some number 10 AWG ring terminals that we got to go track down. Starting to get this portion in order. The recording light works, which I'm excited about. Customer service gun racks are in place. I've got to replace the power cord on the Coke machine, but water cooler is in place and full of water and cold. Very cold, actually. And it even has a little beer fridge inside it for ice cream sandwiches and long necks. Still got to get the couches from storage, move them in. Got to get, I think, one more display shelf and probably some wall art. Got to finish the lighting in here, that's an issue. Track lighting still is wired in wrong. I've got to tweak that so that it fires back up. But other than the mess on the desks, which is just the paperwork involving getting this stuff started, it's looking pretty good. Still need to get more guns on the walls. It's just been sort of a fight over the ladder. Everything seems to be up high that we're working on. Air conditioners work. Need to tweak one of them, but it's coming along. Big thing changed. We moved the CNC into position so that we can finally wire it up. Ignore the clutter on the floor. We got to build a weld table where this is. We're actually going to get rid of this, throw it on Craigslist or something, and put together a nice steel weld table. Ingersoll Rand's cleaned up. Dropped in little baby lathe for doing precision work. Believe it or not, this thing actually turns some amazingly precise parts, and part of that's just because the mad scientist grew up with it and, you know, had it in his garage forever and knows it and has it set up exactly the way he likes it. So for whatever reason, the work he does on it is just fabulous. If you saw general update video number 1, then you saw this thing in the other shop that we tried to set up. Grinders starting to come together. Cold cut saw. We got a badass cold cut saw that I like, and now it's on a stand that still needs to be bolted to the stand, but and then it needs to be wired up. Got a little bit more of that wiring to do. If you'll notice, got that wall painted. I think it really ties everything together. Probably tomorrow we're going to take the shelf off the back of this table and hang one more piece of slat wall that we've got over here. And we're going to hang it up on the back side so you'll be able to look in. And this will be where the mad scientist does a decent portion of the longer term gunsmithing. So if he wants to disassemble something and leave it laid out, you know, so he can come back to it, that'll be where it's getting done. Got the bottles filled for the welders. Still got to put the wheels back on the new Miller. Mount the put the bottle back in the rack. We gotta get the bottle clamp for the 330 hooked up. The beer fridge is getting cleaned up a little bit at a time. If you recall what it looked like before, it's Starting to look pretty sexy. Epic beer fridge. I mean, Von Dutch, Dick Betts, Bud Eakins. I mean, Steve McQueen like took beer out of this fridge. It's hallowed. What else? Oh, we waved a magic wand and the Miata be gone. So that's gone. Got to throw out some hobo stuff, which is the damn it! I swear, the woodsman really likes to relocate everything that looks the same into one place. So this board that I was actually going to cut and use as a new topper for this table somehow magically wound up over here. But it's all good. Long week, a lot of stressness. Still haven't been able to get the tires dealt with. There's a lot of tires need to go away. One more Miata to rule them all. Yeah, got to find a good place for the tank motor. Got another steel case that we're probably going to pass along, and got to clean this thing up. It's pretty sexy, needs some adjustment. It's been sitting, and the move across the shop, it may have gotten banged a tiny bit, so probably going to need everything adjusted and made sure that it's zero. But that's, you know, part of this startup. Believe it or not, this bad boy new costs something like $750,000. When we got it, Mad Scientist's dad did a lot of repo work for a bank that lent out on it, and it was actually in service when it got repoed. And then after a long, I guess, sales and repos, they got tired of not being able to sell it, and let him take it for the moving fees. So it was $4,500, I think it was. Kind of amazing. Anyway, 20 tool changer, very sexy little beast. Upgraded computer, should actually be able to cut. Still got to get tooling for it, which will be, you know, quite a bit more than we outlaid to get it. But it's, you know, we're radically ahead of where we expected to be with, you know, having this thing set up and wired. And if you hear the irritating beeping on this, I don't know if it's coming out on the camera. That's the we have the alarm systems configured so that it makes irritating noises, and we haven't properly configured it to not make irritating noises. But part of the growing process. Yeah, a lot of cleaning been done on this. I don't know if you can tell, but compared to how it was when we had it over at Homer's shop, I mean, it's come a long way. It's got a lot longer to go, but stuff is just falling. The dirt is falling off onto rags with lots of elbow grease. I love how the wood and the old metal go together. We're gonna get this color splashed onto this wall. I decided that'll really make the vintage machinery pop. We're not going to get rid of the overhead lighting. We're still going to keep it properly lit. And we're not going to go black, I don't think, on the ceiling. Just going to tie the spaces together a little bit more so we get this feel brought out here. We are going to black out the edges of the wall just because, and we still have to make the wooden overhead slidey door. Had a thought on that. We can actually use the camera that I'm narrating on right now and then flip it around and project a logo, or maybe just a skull, because why not? Something that we're not going to get tired of looking at. And we can, while we have it projected up there, we can take blow torches and burn the image into the wood. So we'll have whatever the logo is or whatever we want across that on overhead hanging tracks it'll be pretty beefy. It'll also help for sound isolation and allow us to be doing separate things in separate sides of the shop, because once the CNC starts doing its thing, that could get a little loud. We've been having an issue with acoustic foam. I don't know if you can tell, but we were gluing it on. 3M 77 spray adhesive is not working. The stuff that's still up there was liquid nails, but we had to put a lot on there. We need help solution. I mean, if we just gotta suck it up and buy a ton of liquid nails, then I guess we can order crates of liquid nails and just goop it on, but that's expensive. And I'd really like to, I already allocated, hundreds of dollars worth of acoustic foam to the quieting of this so we can do recording and make these videos better. I'd really prefer not to turn that hundreds into 1,000 or more, just because I want to hear higher quality audio on these videos. Will if necessary, but I really prefer not to have it be necessary. Well, currently we're using this as this thing over here as a tool holder. It's Ashley, this is actually their Millennial collection, left over from some offices and stuff that I had. I really dig it. It's one of my favorite things that Ashley makes. Not usually a huge fan of what stuff that's made currently, but this sort of updated retro works. Still got to fix the little drill motor here, the Fordham engraving / dental drill setup. Got the bullet jar finally, which I'm enjoying, not having random loose ammunition kicking around. So we have a place for it. Yeah, I'm not sure what to show you, everybody. Magazines, just because. Filming equipment. But it's coming along. Really, really enjoying the process, and the progress that we've been making is pretty intense. A lot of here till 2 a.m. A lot of up the next morning getting it done. Got a lot of paperwork and stuff we gotta knock out here, but the physical shop itself is kicking ass. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Just, for the record, all of these are California legal, fully compliant. Not our first rodeo. So, yeah, still needs a lot of adjustment. We ran out of hooks, so we got more hooks. We need to fill in the rest, sort of balance it. We actually have a lot more guns that we need to bring over and sort of get the collection balanced and fully set the way we want it. But and I need to send the Caprizio C1000 out for service. They're gonna hate me for it because I'm sure I'm missing a lot of parts by now, but I've been dragging this thing with me through 3 states and a failed marriage, and damn it, I'm gonna have a nice latte out of it. And so will anybody else that wants to swing by, because we are dangerously close to being a functional concern. Yeah. Still got a lot of, fabrication to do. A little bit more on the HVAC. Got a few more tooling, few more little bits of tooling to acquire. Sorry if I'm slurring my speech and rambling. It's been a long week. I'm very tired, but I don't want to not show you guys everything that we're doing. And it's been a lot. So yeah, had a guy stick his foot through the ceiling here, so gonna have to replace this whole section. Needed to happen. The windows here, we've got to get trim on. We got to paint the wood black, and then actually stick on some kind of a cover trim. If any contractors out there happen to know what the heck they're doing and want to give some pointers on how to make that look as pretty as possible, as easily as possible, all ears, because we're gun guys. We do guns. Construction, alteration, cosmetic adjustments are not our bag, but did a decent job. I'm really shocked at how nicely it came out, all things considered. I mean, the walls in this, no two studs were alike. The walls themselves are not perfectly square. Everything was, we had to do a lot to make it, correct. But it's about done. Now we gotta do even more. But it's looking really good. And as soon as we can get that, get the last of it wired in, set up, configured, weld table built, tooling racks on the walls, overhead door hooked up, and it's just going to be beautiful. And as dirty and ugly as that CNC has been for, kicking around the shop, being not used, it's going to really be awesome to play with. I mean, not much we can't make with the setup that we've got here. I mean, there's a few other tools that we need to get. We need to drag up a drill press. We need to drag up, probably a vertical bandsaw at some point. I personally would love to have a sheet metal foot shear and a brake, maybe even a notcher. A unipress, unipunch would be epic. Maybe a louver roller, but but at that point we're probably going to have to get the last of the junk out. But I'm staring at the place where the Mazda was, because if you recall, if you go back to the very first video that we did, this was solid Miata all the way back here, heaped with junk and trash, and in order to walk back to the corner of the shop, you had to walk on the intercoolers of all the cars that were here. I mean, no joke, had to do it. I couldn't even come back all the way to show the stuff that was back here. I mean, it was... Anyway, I'm rambling. If this video is long enough, I'm happy to share it with you guys, and we'll keep busting our ass, and I think, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we're dangerously close to getting back to doing the guns. I mean, we still play with it, but having you know, hands-free to build and to film at the same time has been a bit much. So anyway, that's what I got. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and stay tuned. We're doing cool things.